274, all star nodes connected.
Good evening, and welcome to this week's edition of the AbsoluteTechNet. We meet here each Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern, and our nets last up to but no more than 2 hours. Connection information is available on our website at AbsoluteTech.org. At this time, I'd like to thank the members of our Absolute Tech team, Scott, N4UBC, Mike, N6RDF, Chris, VE3, WJ, and Mickey, KL7FR, as well as all of our supporters and participants who make this net possible. Absolute Tech is a technology net for ham radio operators and others that covers a broad spectrum of technology. All tech-related topics are always open for discussion, so if you're excited about something tech-related, bring it on. We want to hear about it. Feel free to make comments under the direction of the host to give the net a feeling of collaboration without chaos. Pause. We really want to hear about what real technology has recently captured your interest. And if you have a quick question about a project you're working on, feel free to ask the net. For those with non-technical comments, we want to know that you're out there too. We ask that you please state your call sign, followed by check-in only, no tech comments. This will keep the momentum of the net moving forward and focused on tech. Participants' answers should be brief, but if brief isn't possible, please use our Absolute Tech Facebook page to carry your conversation further. You'll find a link to our Facebook page on our website at AbsoluteTech.org. Please be aware that there is a 3-minute timeout timer. Now, we use NetLogger for this net and think it's a great way to get connected with our net host, to see who's lurking, and to communicate with others via the AIM window. However, we take voice check-ins only on this net. So without further ado, let's get started with this edition of Absolute Tech. Well, good evening again. This is Mike, November 6th, Romeo Delta Foxtrot. I reside here in Old El Paso, Texas, affectionately known as Chuco Town. And I'm losing my voice, so I apologize for that. I probably sound like I'm fading away, which I am, actually. So the asthma and allergies have gotten the best of me again. But anyway, that's not going to stop me from trying to get this net rolling here. So let me find the Party Started button. There it is. Okay, I just pressed it, so consider the party started here. We're going to start taking check-ins right now. Hey, this evening's topic is all things Raspberry Pi. Now, we host once a month, Tuesday of every month. We feature this program, all things Raspberry Pi. However, as stated in the preamble, anything tech goes. So, hey, if there's something with regard to technology that's spinning your propeller, definitely bring it on. We want to hear about it. It could be ham radio or not ham radio related. Anything tech. Did I already... Anything tech goes. So we're going to start taking check-ins. Let me let it reset here for a second. I'll be right back. Okay. So for those who are in, who are not using, let's just put it this way. If you're not on All-Star and you're not using ECHOLINK, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get connected. And once you do get connected, it takes a little bit longer for us to hear you. So let's be patient. Take some deep breath, and we're going to start taking check-ins, get some folks on the log who do not have, at this time, any comments or questions for the net, but would like to get onto the log. So we ask that you please give us your call sign twice, phonetic, followed by your first name. Check-ins with no comments or questions for the net tonight, check in now.
India 5, Sierra Romeo, KI5, SSR Jeanette.
Delta Uniform 3, X-Ray Charlie Delta. Delta Uniform 3, X-Ray Charlie Delta. Dennis, the Philippines.
Whiskey 8, London, Mexico. Whiskey 8, London, Mexico. Wichita, Kansas.
KQ4, 3B GT. King Queen 4, Big Bad Papa. John.
Kilo Bravo 2, Foxtrot Alpha. Kilo Bravo 2, Foxtrot Alpha. Carl in New Jersey, no tech comment.
Kilo Mike 4, Sierra Mike Victor, KM4, SMV, Georgia, Marvin, no tech comment.
KY4, DPD, Kilo Yankee 4, Delta Papa Delta. This is Doug in South Central Kentucky.
Kilo India 5, Juliet Kilo Golf. Jonathan Houston, no tech comment.
In Romeo, VK4 SIR Mobile. Name is Peter and there's no comment.
Kilo Delta 5, Alpha Juliet Zulu. Kilo Delta 5, Alpha Juliet Zulu. Alex, Pasadena, Texas.
Kilo 3, Foxtrot Zulu Tango. Kilo 3, Foxtrot Zulu Tango. Steve, Philadelphia. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Golf Tango Foxtrot. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Golf Tango Foxtrot. Allen, Minnesota.
Charlie Tango 1 Alpha Foxtrot Sierra. Charlie Tango 1 Alpha Foxtrot Sierra. Victor.
Kilo Bravo 0 Romeo Oscar Tango. That's KB 0 ROT in South Dakota, no tech question. Over.
Kilo 4, Lima Bravo. Sean, Fort Pierce, no tech question.
Very good, very good. This is November 6th, Romeo Delta Foxtrot, and you're in tune with the AbsoluteTechNet. Well, this is good. Hey, thank you, everybody. Great way to check in to all. I think we may have had a couple of stations double. But if I'm going to go through the list here of who I've got on the log thus far. And if you did check in and did not hear your call sign, we're going to have another round coming up here, okay? So let me tell you who I've got on the log thus far. K4 LOB, KB0 ROT, KT1 AFS, KF0 GTF, K3 FZT, KD5 AJZ, VK4 SIR, KI5 JKG, KY4 DPD, KM4 SMV, KB2 FA, KQ4 BBP. Hey, that kind of sounded like a Texas Hold'em in there, KQ4. W8 LM, DU3 XCD, and the Texas Kisser KI5 SSR. It's great to hear the regulars checking in, and then some of you folks who are new. So we thank all of you for checking in. And if you do have any questions or comments later on, it's always okay to recheck. So that's a good thing. So let me say this: if you did not hear your call sign and you did check in, please try again now. But I just wanted to remind folks who are on DMR, YSF, P25, the Digimodes, try again. Okay, take your time. We'll be patient, and remember to give us your call sign twice, followed by your first name. Again, check-ins for the AbsoluteTechNet without questions and comments at this time. Please check in now.
Alpha 3 Zulu Radio, Kilo Alpha 3, Mike Zulu Radio, Joe, Juliet Oscar Echo. Just listening. Over.
W4 Alpha Foxtrot Golf, Whiskey 4 Alpha Foxtrot Golf, in and out. Stay safe. Enjoy.
This is Kilo Golf 4 Sierra Juliet, KG4 SSJ, Jason, Alabama. My radio died a while ago. I was trying to check in there. I have no tag and short time at Negro Centrido.
Kilo 9, Lima.
Kilo 4, Bravo, Foxtrot, Mike. Kilo 4, Bravo, Foxtrot, Mike. Captain Bob, Daytona Beach.
Okay, the K9er station. Try again, please. Somebody doubled with you there. We got you KK4 BFM. But the KL9 station again, please, sir.
Kilo 9, Lima Zulu Yankee. Kilo 9, Lima Zulu Yankee. Rob.
Thank you, Rob. We got you on the log. As K9LZY and KK4BFY. I think it was KK4BF Mike, wasn't it? Come on back with your sub, please, sir.
Roger, Kilo 4, Bravo, Foxtrot, Mike.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate the clarification. We're still taking check-ins for folks with no comments or questions for the AbsoluteTechNet. Your call twice phonetically, followed by your first name, please. Check in now.
Victor Oscar 2, Echo Tango, VO2ET. Daryl in Labrador, Canada. No comment, thank you.
Victor Echo 3, X-Ray Tango Delta, VE3XTD, Eric in Gravenhurst, Ontario.
Okay, let me hold it up right there. This is November 6th, Romeo Delta Foxtrot, and you're in tune with the AbsoluteTechNet, where this evening's topic is all things Raspberry Pi. However, anything tech flies here, so if you're excited about something tech-related, bring it on. We want to hear about it, ham-related or not, that's for sure. Okay, thank you, that group, for checking in with no tech comments or questions at this time. Let me tell you who I've got on the log. Start at the bottom and work my way up. EE3XTD, VO2ET, KK4 BFM, K9er LZY, KG4 SSJ, DW4 AF, and KA3 Mike ZR. Thank you, folks, for checking in.
Think you got my call wrong. It's Whiskey Alpha Foxtrot Golf.
N2DYN. Yeah, let me try this again, okay? This is Mike, November 6th, Romeo Delta Foxtrot. If you're using DMR, RSX, YSF, or P25, we ask that you give us a call. And if you're on our ECHOLINK, that's fine too, but we'll do a third round here of folks who'd like to get on the log with no tech comments or questions for the AbsoluteTechNet. Give us your call sign twice phonetically, followed by your first name. Check in now, please.
Zulu Lima 2 Bravo Echo Zulu. Zulu Lima 2 Bravo Echo Zulu. Paul, Mobile in New Zealand, over.
This is AI3N in hospital in Allentown, and I do have a question about antennas, and I'll just leave it at that for now unless you want my question.
We'll get back to you shortly. We're going to continue with stations with no tech comments or questions at this time, but we'll definitely get back to AI3N, and we appreciate your patience. So again, we're still taking check-ins from...
Oh, sorry, I jumped the gun. AI3N.
out there. So one more call for stations with no comments or questions at this time. Call sign twice phonetically, followed by your first name, please. Call now.
November 2 Delta Yankee November. November 2 Delta Yankee Norway. Angelo.
Zulu. Paul, Mobile in New Zealand. Over.
Please recognize Kilo Charlie 7 Yankee Foxtrot Echo. Kilo Charlie 7 Yankee Foxtrot Echo. Dale out of Roseburg, Oregon.
Kilo 5 Tango Delta Foxtrot. Kilo 5 Tango Delta Foxtrot. Ron in Houston, Texas.
Up there. This is Mike, November 6th, Romeo Delta Foxtrot, and you're in tune with the AbsoluteTechNet. Mike, we've got quite a few folks on the log this evening with no tech comments or questions. But again, if you do decide to chime back in, we encourage you to do so with any comments and questions you may have. It's okay to recheck. And AI3N, I've got you with a question. N2DYN, we've got you on the log. KC7YFV, welcome again. K5TDF, we've got you. And let me check real quick, Paul, from New Zealand. ZL2, Bravo Echo Zulu, did you have a comment or question for the net this evening, or are you just wanting to get on the log for now? Over to you, sir.
W6, fine. Yeah, I'm just mobile at the moment, so you can't really make too much comments, but thank you very much for inviting me, and I'll stand by and listen to the net, over.
Very good, Paul. It's very good to have you with us. Appreciate you being here, as we appreciate everybody being here on the AbsoluteTechNet. Well, all right then. We're going to start taking check-ins from folks who do have comments and questions, and AI3N, you will be at the top of that list, sir. So again, we ask for your patience. I know you had a question about antennas and that, so definitely Don will be back to you shortly, okay? So let's get some folks on the log. Whoops, sorry about that, I got disconnected. So we are taking check-ins now from folks with comments, or questions for the AbsoluteTechNet. Again, this evening's topic is all things Raspberry Pi. But if you've got something that you're excited about with regard to technology, ham radio related or not, we definitely want to hear about it, so come on in. Again, we ask for your call sign twice, phonetically, followed by your first name. So check-ins now with comments and/or questions.
November 5, America, Quebec, Mexico, N5AQM.
Mike 6, Golf, Sierra November, Mike 6, Golf, Sierra November, and the name's Nell.
Shortly, and you have Mike. Always a pleasure to have you here, sir. And let's go to Don. Don, what's happening with this thing, sir? Welcome to the AbsoluteTechNet. Your question or comment, please.
Okay, so earlier on, God, I think it was the Dewdrop-In net. The guy was talking about living in an apartment, and he had a rain spout, drain spout on the outside that used as an antenna. And he said that he was using a long wire tuner, and it showed an showed that it was like 8 instead of 3 or 2. And what I was wondering is, in a result like that, if you have an SWR of 8-to-1, and you're matching it, I mean, your transmitter is happy, but doesn't that mean that you effectively only 3/8 of the actual power radiated, and the rest does what? I don't know. Heats the building? I don't know. The other thing was that he said it was nailed to the wood of the building, and I'm wondering if that's, if some of that energy just goes into the nails and heats up the wood, which would, of course, subtract from the radiated signal. But suppose it isn't radiated, suppose it's totally isolated, and pretend like it's an antenna, the SWR8, and you match it, aren't you still just transmitting, less than half of the power you could? So that's kind of my question. Back to you, AI3.
AI3N, first and foremost, thanks for being here with us. Good to hear you. And that question is loaded with RF, that's for sure. I'm not an antenna aficionado, but I know folks out here who are, and I know some of them are connected right now. So I don't know. Maybe we'll give N5AQMs next on the list. Maybe Mike, you'd like to give it a shot. This is N6RDF.
How did I know you were going to say that, Mike? Hi. Yeah, good evening, everybody on the net. N5AQM, Mike down here in Chandler, Arizona. It was about 65 degrees today. Just lovely. Chamber of Commerce weather. Anyway, to answer Don's question, I think that was his name, Don. I've done this. I've actually loaded up rain spouts. I was stuck in an apartment in Houston many years ago. 4 decades ago with the XYL, and there was no antenna restrictions per se, but there was no place to put an antenna. But there was a gutter right outside the window, so at night, I sanded off a piece of the paint and took my drill and drove in a screw into that sheet metal and was able to make contacts on 75 meters. I mean, I had RF in the shack and it was a nightmare, but the radiation efficiency is just garbage. You know, it's just terrible. It's terrible in every regard. Yeah, you're putting something out there, but it ain't going to be a lot. You know, the losses are just off the charts. And does it work? Yeah, it could. I've known people that have loaded up literally bed springs or railings. There's some guys that stub load their towers, especially on 160. If they got a 100-foot tower, they can set the feed point up maybe 10 feet on the tower and actually be able to tune out the bad SWRs and actually make contacts on 160 meters. So every situation is different. It's a total crapshoot, you know. But it's all about getting on the air. It's all about making contacts. You know, back in the day, you were trashing out people's televisions. Now that's not the problem so much, but I know that for a fact too. So that's why I don't have a linear amplifier. I got rid of my amp many years ago because every time I turn it on and use it, my neighbors are knocking on my door. So that's my opinion on that. And there might be some other people out that have other things to say about that, but it does work to a fashion. That's all you got. You got to work with what you got. Back to you there, Mike, and I got another comment then. N5AQM.
Roger that, Mike. Thank you for coming back and shedding some light on that situation. Back to AI3N from N6RDF.
Yeah, that's what I suspected him. And I asked him if they were to take DVM and measure the gutter to ground, you know, if it would show much loss there, you know, because you might be losing the RF just going directly into ground as a grounded antenna, you know. I wonder what effect that would have on transmission. I imagine the same thing as just having a poor reservoir. Back to you.
Yeah, well, there's two different things here. There's a DC ground, and yeah, which sort of short to ground. And then there's a AC or RF ground, which is a whole different animal. You know, these 5/8 wave 2-meter mobile antennas, you put an ohmmeter across the coax and it's a dead short, but they work fine. You know, and it's because that's the difference between a DC ground and an RF ground. So there would be a difference. Even if that thing was grounded down at the bottom of the spout and he was feeding it up high, yeah, it would be a DC short, but it would be something else RF-wise there. Back to you, Mike.
Comment? Roger. Whoops. Hang on for a second. Roger. I heard another station trying to pop in there. There may be another station with some comments with regard to this question. Let's pause for a moment and see if another station would like to pop in here with a comment. This is N6RD.
K4LOB's got a comment.
Recognizing K4LOB. Over to you, sir.
I actually use a stealth gutter antenna a lot of the times because I'm HOA, and I use one from MaxCon Antennas from Georgia. Milton makes one, and it actually works quite well. It works. It's just a simple 9-to-1 unnun on one end, and you know, with 62 feet of coax, and you know, an RF choke on the other end, and I clip it right to my downspout, and it radiates quite well. It actually works really good, surprisingly. I was, you know, pleasantly surprised on how well it works, and it tuned up without any problems. I virtually don't even have to use the tuner to tune it. That's how well it works. And with 100 watts, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit, it can be compromised, but it tunes up, and I've made, you know, many contacts with it. And I'm actually going to extend it. I'm going to try. He gave me a suggestion to try, and I'm going to try to extend it from one side and connect it to the other side of the gutters on the other side of the house and extend the radiation pattern. I'm going to give that a try to see if it'll work. He says it should work, and it should, but I don't know. We'll give it a try. But I just wanted to pass that out that they do work depending on what you have and what you're using. But that particular one from Maxcon, it works really well, and I'm not the only one that has one. So just wanted to put that out there.
Well, thank you, sir, for coming back with that information. And if you're not already familiar with our Facebook group, we do have an Absolute Tech Facebook group, and you can get access to that easily by going to AbsoluteTech.org. There's a link right there for it. We also have a Discord live chat where we exchange information, but we try to make a forum of sorts available to our participants where they can give and get information regarding technology. So this is all good stuff. So if you are so inclined, we invite you to either, if you haven't already done so, join our Facebook group or, and make some contributions. Let me pass it back to AI3N one more time to see if you have any additional comments and or questions for the net this evening. Back to you, sir.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering if there been any experiments, like say you have a receiver a couple miles away, and you compare like a fully tuned one-to-one antenna. I mean, where it's not the tuner doing the work, but the antenna is actually one-to-one, and then you compare it to something that's say 9-to-1, and with a proper tuning that the transmitter's happy, would it be safe to say that you would, at the other end, the signal would be 1/9 of what a full one-to-one antenna would be? Back to you.
Well, again, we'll put it out there for folks to ponder in 6RDS.
Yeah, N5AQM. Yeah, it's not cut and dried like that, Don. It's a lot of factors that come in. And the guys that played with this, they have antenna shootouts where they'll play with different antennas in an open range and be quarter-mile apart and take measurements based on, real-world measurements, signal strength measurements, field strength measurements, and play with different antenna configurations, all that stuff. But I'll just say that any antenna is better than no antenna. And, we'll just leave it at that. Back to you, Mike, N5AQM and the net.
Thank you, Mike. Well, we only have so much time here, and this is a great topic of discussion for sure. I really appreciate it. I'm learning something, that's for sure. But we should probably move on here and let some other folks who are in the queue get in here to check in and participate as well. But we definitely want to thank you, Dodd, for coming in. Don't be a stranger. We meet here every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern, for the AbsoluteTechNet, and our nets last up to but no more than 2 hours. So let me break with you, sir. AI3N, thank you again. We hope you hang around for the rest of the net. And I'm going to say 73 to you and yours. Move on down the line here to Mike, N5AQM. Again, always a joy to have you here with us, Mike. Over to you, sir, from N6RDF.
Yeah, okay, Mike, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. N5AQM. I'll make this pretty quick. Some of you might remember a year ago I picked up a QRP Labs QDX, and that's a 20 to 80 meter digital transceiver that's about the size of a cigarette pack. And a bunch of us were ballyhooing to Hans, who is the owner-operator of QRP Labs, to come up with a 10-meter version of that same thing. And mine runs just fabulously on a Raspberry Pi 4. I can run FL Digi, I control it with FL Rig, and use my tablet to run terminal. In fact, right now one of my Raspberry Pi 4s is out in my RV running Whisper. I have 3-band hopping. I have a Hustler mobile antenna on the back of the trailer. So I'm going out to Quartz Fest in a couple weeks. and I'm just, testing my setup. I did a whole bunch of things different, and it's working really well. But that's powered by a Raspberry Pi, and I get into it through my Wi-Fi using VNC because my Raspberry Pi links up to my Wi-Fi. But it also will link up to my cell phone out in the middle of the stinking desert, and I can do that. But I'm running Whisper. I'm running about a half a watt, being heard all over the place with this three different Hustler resonators on the same mast, and I'm band switching between those three resonators. But anyway, they have come up with it. It's available now. I just ordered one last night, a 20 through 10 meter QDX, if anybody's interested. My cost shipped AQM from N6 RDF. Well, yeah, for sure, Mike. Thank you. And, we always appreciate you popping in with what you've got. Appreciate your support. And, yeah, as Mike mentioned, if you on the web, if you dial in qrp-labs.com/QDX, you can see that little digital transceiver that Mike mentioned that covers 2017, 15, 12, 11, and 10. It's pretty cool. So if you haven't checked out QRP Labs offerings yet, you might want to do that. That will probably be a good one. I'm not sure. I don't think we have that on our links page on AbsoluteTech.org, but that'd be a good one to add. So I'll put that on my to-do list. Very good, Mike. Thank you. I'm going to break with you, and 73 to you and yours, that's for sure. And let's see if M6GSN is still with us. Glenn, are you still there? From N6RDF, over to you, sir.
Hi. No, I'm not come to sleep yet. No, Raspberry Pi, how long should I bake them for? Right, actually, I don't know what happened there. Somehow I must have hit the screen on my phone. I've actually recently got myself a new hotspot, and it's not running on Raspberry Pi. It's from a company called Friendly Elect. It's a NanoPi Neo. It's a square board. One of the things I like about it is it's actually got a full-size, one full-size USB port. It's got a cat port, Ethernet port, and it's got one micro USB port. And one reason why I like about it is because it doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi, but when I got it, a company I got it from called Martin Lynch and Sons here in the UK. They're actually a amateur radio shop, independent, so it's not like HRO. It's like a small independent company. It actually comes with a dongle, but I've actually got a 4G modem which I can actually plug into the side of it and run it. I can run it literally as a standalone unit. Even with I've got a battery pack that can plug into the side of it, and it can literally be a standalone hotspot with no extra no wire stretching all over the place. And I've had it for about 2 months. I'm happy as a I'm happy as can be with it. Back to net control there.
Can you explain what a hot
for being here with us. That's for sure. And I'm glad you're excited about your... Hang on a minute. I'm having some problems here. Okay. Again, thanks for being here and bringing your enthusiasm with you. The NanoPi Neo, yeah, I believe that's the one you've got and that you've fired up and it's operational. So for those of you who are interested, the NanoPi, NanoPi.io, if you go there, the internet there, you can see the NanoPi family and read all. It's pretty cool stuff, that's for sure. And I wanted to pass it back to you one more time if you had any additional comments. This is N6RDF, and you're in tune with the AbsoluteTechNet, where this evening's topic is all things Raspberry Pi. But, as you well know, all things fly out here. So, back at you one more time there. Excuse me. I'm choking here. Back to you one more time there, sir, from N6RDF.
M6RDF, N6RDF, M6GSN. I think I heard someone say, what is a hotspot? A hotspot is the software of it is Linux-based, but think about an at-home repeater. You can connect to DMR, D-Star, if you've got the right type of equipment, Yaesu System Fusion, and there's all these different digital modes. The digital mode great to get out onto the radio. I've got one of them. You know, where I live, I can't have antennas. HF is too expensive for me. But like so, for me, it's a case of okay, yeah, I can use my phone to get onto ECHOLINK. You now have got things like the proper VoIP, what I call proper VoIP style protocols, which are ham shack hotline. There's I think there's about 4 others now that do it as well. But like I say, with the going back to the hotspot, like I say, it's literally you use a radio and connect into it. So it's a bit like a repeater, but personal your use only. So there's no tying up a repeater when you want to have a conversation with your friend either across town or across the world in Australia, Japan, or wherever. Back to net control.
Roger that, Glenn. Well, we thank you for that. And for those of you who are interested in information regarding hotspots, if you go to my page, November 6th, Romeo Delta Foxtrot on QRZ, just go ahead and scroll down there, and in big, bold blue writing, there's 2 excellent resources there for you. Pi-Star Hotspot Setup Full Tutorial for beginners, and the Jumbo Spot MMDBM Setup for D-Star, DMR, C4FM, B25, NXDN, Pi-Star, etc. So, it's pretty cool. Then there's some other Raspberry Pi alternatives there that can be plugged in for amateur radio. Anything. So, okay. Let me break with you, okay? I want to say 73 to you and yours. Time real quick here. Yeah, we're about 45 minutes into the program. I think Scott, N4UPC, had a comment. I want to pass to Scott, N4UPC, from N6RDF.
All right, B station, stand by just a minute, and we will be taking check-ins again. I don't know if you had a comment. You may want to let us know with your call sign and the word comment, so we know the difference. As Chris said in our background chat, a hotspot is a gateway between a digital-capable radio, that's YSF, DMR, etc., and the Internet, whether it's to somebody else's hotspot, whether it's to a repeater in some place in the world, that's what it does. Now, when you talk about nodes, that is all-star lingo for for literally an all-star node, a little computer. Sometimes. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. Appreciate the gentle reminders about checking in during the check-in time. And if you do have a comment related to a specific topic that is hot at the moment, just state your call sign and comment, and we'll get back to you. Hopefully it'll be on topic. Okay, let me proceed here. This is N6RDF, and you're in tune with the AbsoluteTechNet. Our topic this evening, all things Raspberry Pi, but if you've got something spinning in your propeller with regard to technology, bring it on. We want to hear about it, that's for sure. Hey, Mike, are you out there? VE3 MVE from N6RDF.
Hey, N6RDF, this is VE3 MVE. Thanks for acknowledging and letting me comment. I do have a project that I was working on. I was going to build a Sherry Pi hat in a Pi Star, but it's so difficult to get Raspberry Pi nowadays. I'm hoping, from what I read, there should be a new batch of stock at the end of the year, so should be a little easier to get our hands on that. But I did find the QCX somebody mentioned. That looks really interesting at that price. I mean, I do have soldering skills, so I can probably build it on my own. Thank you for that. Back to you.
Roger. Well, thanks for being here with us. And yeah, you know, big topic that we've been mulling around, I guess you could say, is alternatives to the Raspberry Pi. I've done quite a bit of research, and you know, I've come up with two boards. I actually got my Banana Pi M2 Ultra running this evening, and it actually performs better than the Banana Pi BPI M2 Berry. So if I want to purchase more Banana Pis in the future as Raspberry Pi clones, it will definitely be the M2U, the Ultra. It's got more RAM, and it's really a nice, I tell you what. But it needs voltage and amperage, so it's not going to do well with one of those wall warts that you usually run a Raspberry Pi 4 off of. Something like another wall wart that'll provide you with over 3 amps if possible at 5 volts. Just FYI there, but you can contact me and read all about it on N6RDF and on QRZ. Let me let it reset here for a sec. Yeah, and again, you know, the ham voice image will run on Raspberry Pis only, because the Arch kernel has been developed to run on that particular SoC. that's in the Raspberry Pi, the Broadcom. So, but I'm noodling. I want to try to get a VM going on one of these bananas or some ARM64 architecture SBC and see if I can, get a 64-bit operating system going with enough RAM to be able to support a VM, so we can try ham-boip on that. Yeah, the QDX digital transceiver. That QDX is available, thanks to Mike again, N5AQM for mentioning that, qrplabs.com/QDX. Check out QRP's offering. I think we're going to add that one to our links page. Okay, well, I'm going to break with you, 73. Hang around, if you want to chime back in, feel free to do so on a recheck. But at this time, I'd like to let more participants in. If you'd like to get on the log, if you have questions and or comments for the Absolute Tech.
Controls and instrumentation engineer for about 26 years, 27 years, something like that. Then we went into business for ourselves and made more money there than I thought you were a no comment check-in. We'll definitely get to you there, sir. No problem. Got you on the log. And got you in there, too. You doubled with VE7LE. Still taking check-ins from folks with comments or questions. Call sign twice phonetically, followed by your first name. In now.
Let's say another question about the hotspot thing and general utility of this kind of technology. AI for you.
Switch TSN recheck-in.
2NC checking in, no comment.
Okay, so the station that just checked in with no comment. Will you come back with your call sign twice, phonetically, followed by your first name? We didn't get your call sign. Please.
Roger, sorry about that. It's Whiskey 2 November Charlie. Whiskey 2 November Charlie. The name here is Kevin in Peoria, Arizona.
Thank you, Sir Kevin. We got you on the log. Still taking check-ins from folks with comments or questions from the net this evening. Again, we ask that you give us your call sign twice phonetically, followed by your name. Check in now.
Mike 7.
RDFK1ULN. I hope you got me.
Mike 7. Charlie, uniform, Foxtrot. Just checking in and saying hello. Cheers.
Alrighty, so two things. We just had a station call in, sir. All I got was Foxtrot, so if you could come back with your call sign, that would be great. And KA1ULN, we definitely got you on the log, Macy. Glad to have you with us. So the station that just checked in with the letter Foxtrot in their suffix, come on back with your whole call sign, please.
Mike 7, Charlie, uniform, Foxtrot. Mike 7, Charlie, uniform, Foxtrot. M7CUF, checking in and saying hello. Cheers, guys.
Well, hello right back at you, M7CUF. Glad to have you with us this evening. And cheers right back at you. I tell you what, let me stop the log here just for a second. Tell you who I've got.
AM7CUF W2NC. Thank you, Kevin. We had a recheck from 2 stations. One was Let me get back here. I got disconnected here. Let me start again here. MCUF W2NC. We had 2 stations with rechecks. AI3N was one. Another one I did not get the call sign, but I'll take the time to try to get you back in here. KC7YFE Dale, always a pleasure. KA1ULN, we've got you. Good to hear you. VE7LE. And KM4 at VPG with no comments. Roll Tide roll. So let me go to Dale. Dale, come on back in, sir. Apologize for any confusion there. Always good to have you with us. The mic is yours.
Hey, not a problem there, Mike. You're doing a fine job with the net and all that. Hey, you're doing excellent. And it's RDF, Radio Direction Finder, or KC7YFE here. Yeah, mine, and I drew up a little bit of a plan for it. It's I read an article in the May edition of QST magazine. I forget what year it was. I don't know if it was 2019 or anything like that, but they were talking about light bulbs, using light bulbs for HF. What I was thinking I'd like to try to do is build a combination light bulb one-wire antenna. That would be cool for that. See if I could try it on HF, high frequency bands. Because I just acquired an old Kenwood HF station. I'm kind of dying to get it set up somehow and get it up on deck and working and things. So I thought about that. Maybe building one of those. That'd be kind of nice. I don't know what anybody would think about that. Sitting having a light bulb flashing on and off in the backyard here. That would be something. Well, anyway, I'll hand it back to you and let you take any comments or questions on that one there. So, N6RDF, thank you for a good net, and I'll be sticking around for a little bit and waiting for comments or questions on it. Back to you, KC7YFE.
Thank you, Dale. I mean, let me ask you then, were you interested in putting that out there for folks to comment on? Back to you.
Even what those that read that article, I'd like to see I'd like to hear their thoughts on it. So, with that, KC7YFE, we'll open it back up to you there, Mike.
Yeah, roger that, Dale. It sounds like a very interesting article. Now, that's a great example of, I don't know if you already did this or not, but, posting that on our Facebook group, which I know you're a member of, or the Discord live chat, or both, But if anybody read the article that Dale did and like to feedback a little bit, we'll pause just for a moment and see if anybody would like to chime in. RDF standing by.
Yeah, this is AI3N back. When I got my ham license when I was 14, and I had a buddy, Richard Paddock, who took his license earlier. We were basically in the same grade in high school. And he did that. He built a Heathkit transmitter and receiver, and used a light bulb, actually. He fired up a light bulb and was making contacts with it. So I know the concept works. He was transmitting. That's for sure. That was back in like 1956. So back to you.
Oh, very cool indeed. Yeah, some of us have been out here for a while. That's for sure. Dale, did you have any more comments or questions for the net this evening before I move on here? Back to you, sir.
Nothing now, Mike, but I just want to thank you and everybody else for your service and your participation in the net. And I want to encourage each and everyone to keep coming back. Also, you can find that QST, that month and year of QST for May, I think in 2019, and see if they have that one. And I'll have to download it to Bard Mobile and read up a little more on it and reread it a little bit and see what it's all about. So that was kind of an interesting concept. I also saw some of that stuff going on YouTube too, like people building, taking light sockets and light bulbs and building antennas and dummy loads out of them and stuff like that. I don't see why it wouldn't work. It'd be worth a try. So thank you all again for a fine job on the net and your service, your participation, and you guys keep coming back because that's what keeps the net going. And 6RDF from KC7YFE, and back to you and the AbsoluteTechNet. Keep up the fine job there, man.
Well, roger that, Dale. It's always great to have you. I don't think you've missed an AbsoluteTechNet in the almost 2 years we've been around here, so we really do appreciate all your support and your enthusiasm. I was going to look that up too, because I know 73 magazine and some of the other ham radio periodicals are in archive online for free, actually. I wonder if QSTs are out there too. They've got to be out there somewhere, so there's got to be like a library repository somewhere, issues that you can download as PDF files. So it's always interesting, to go back and look at the technology and just marvel where it's come. But there's some timeless artifacts to be found, periodicals like QST that you mentioned, et cetera. But thanks again, Dale, for being here. Awesome possum. More power to you. That's for sure. Let me see if VE7LE. Victor Echo 7, Lima Echo. Hey, Ted, do you have comments or questions for the net this evening, sir? Over to you from N6RDF.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Echo Ted. I'm on, NetLogger, stating that when I went to Army radio school, we used light bulbs to tune off our HF radio. Now, military HF radios have a big antenna tuner built into them so they can handle extreme range. But my question was, then I said, maybe if you ask GPT chat, that's the artificial intelligence that people can try out right now and ask any questions, and it can produce computer programs, can produce stories, poems, and write songs for you, for people's testing. So my question for the net, let me do a reset here. 7LE, do with the Raspberry Pi. I'm thinking about getting into chia farming and not talking about chia seeds. This is electronic token. And for more information, just go to chia.net. But with Chia, first you got to build the blockchain. And my question was, how long does it take to download the blockchain on the Raspberry Pi? Because after 24 hours, I'd given up on it. I says, this could take days, if not weeks. And then once you're successful in downloading the blockchain and synchronizing it, you got to do, you have to lay out your land before you can start to farm your chia. So I was just wondering if there's anybody on the air that has used a Raspberry Pi for farming. Back to net. 7 Lima Echo.
This is
okay. That's a great.
Ask me questions.
That's a great topic. Crypto mining with Raspberry Pi. Now, folks are doing it. Okay, there's a variety of different ways to make this happen. I was looking on our .org website. I thought I had a link there regarding that, but I may have been mistaken. I think it might be on my QR page. November 6, Romeo Delta Foxtrot. If you scroll down that rabbit hole, there might be some links there for you. But I personally have not gotten into it. I know that there's one ham out here who has been dabbling in that. He may be listening this evening and might have some comments with regard to that. But you might want to check out my QRZ page and just put in, do a find on the page and see and just type in crypto. See if you can find that, because it was a very useful bit of information regarding that. But very, very interesting topic. I tell you what, there is somebody out there who is mining with Raspberry Pi. We'll pause to see if you're out there. This is N6RDF. There might be some useful information there, because sometimes when you go to these links that I've posted, they have additional links that can take you, into the realm of the unknown, which can lead to some very interesting and useful information and topics for discussion. Let me pass it back to you one more time, Ted, if you have any additional comments or questions from N6RDF.
Thank you about that. Yes, I'm on your page right now reading about the Franken-Pi, so you know what I'm talking about. And yes, I'm just going through there right now and reading everything. This is what I do once I retire. And this is my Christmas vacation project. I just learned about this a week ago about chia mining. I'm doing other things with my Raspberry Pis. I have about 7 of them, such as APRS I'm doing. And then I am doing other crypto mining. I'm doing Tor relay. I'm doing Mist nodes, etc. But thank you there. So I'll read up on your QRZ page and learn more about it. This is E7 Levi Echo.
After that, Ted, there's a great website that we called Up, and they have a website, Pi My Life Up, one word, PIMYLIFEUP.com, and they have a very good article on how to farm chia with a Raspberry Pi. So you might want to check that out too. I think I'm going to add that to my QRZ page as well. And then of course the chia.net site that you mentioned, where you can read all about mining chia. But wow, you've got some really cool stuff going on there, Ted. So we really appreciate you being here with us and bringing that tech talk with you. That's for sure. Don't be a stranger. Come on back and let us know if you need. Again, the Find My Life Up website. It's got some really interesting articles with regard to all things Raspberry Pi, and most notably, as you mentioned, there is a good article on how to farm chia with a Raspberry Pi. Check it out. All right, I'm going to break with you. I'm going to wish you all the very best of 73, and I've got all kinds of things going on here in the Franken-Pi Castle that you mentioned. I've got I've got a Banana Pi BPI M2U running over here with Raspbian. I've got a Raspberry Pi 4 percolating over there with Raspberry Pi OS. I've got Mac going here. I've got a couple of Linux computers running in a Windows station too, along with Android. So there's a lot of RF flying around in here. Thank goodness I don't have any of my radios on. Okay, let me keep going here. This is N6RDF, and you're in tune with the AbsoluteTechNet. It's about 10 minutes after the hour. We've got about 50 solid minutes left of good times here on the Absolute Tech program. And I'm going to break with Ted, and I'm going to go on to Nisi. Nisi, it's been a while since I've spoken to you. I'm always interested in what's going on with you. If you're still with us, I believe you are. KA1ULN. Over to you, ma'am. Sorry.
lines, but I don't like it at all. It's not me.
I am good. I am up and running. I got my Anytone C878UV running with my open spot, my All-Star, and my Time Star. So I'm good. I am very good. Latest project. We're going to get this and also All-Star notes. I'm on ECHOLINK right now. I finished 3D printing all the parts for my robot, my InMom robot. So now I'm into the electronics part. Now I'm connecting all the movable parts. So that's the project now. It's really fun. It's a lot of fun to do that. I did see, I've been looking on Marketplace at eBay. Got a lot of eBay lately. eBay does have Raspberry Pi 4s. They actually got Raspberry Pi 1s on eBay. They got 1 gig. I never knew they had a Raspberry Pi 4B with 1 gig. They got them with 1 gig, 4 gig. I didn't see any 8 gig Raspberry Pi 4Bs. Some of them pretty cheap. Some people want to buy a house selling their 4B with 4 gig. There's no 8 gig Raspberry Pi 4Bs. But they're interesting. Some are brand new, never opened. So that's another place. I haven't gone the route of any of the alternative Raspberry Pis. I don't need any more right now. I'm working on my robot, which uses Arduinos and some of the specific boards to this particular robot. But it's a lot of fun, Mike. KA1ULN, back to net.
KA1ULN, 6RDF. Well, first and foremost, thanks for being here with us, as always. Good to hear from you and what you're up to. You're always up to something, that's sure. I think you've got a surplus of Raspberry Pis, too. I was mentioning on a previous net I was hosting that I came into a stack of Raspberry Pis, which were gifted to me by the elementary school next door to the high school where I teach. And I was so happy to get those. And so that's good news, but enough of that. Very cool about the 3D printing of for your robot. That's the way to go, you know? I mean, it's true to form homebrew. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Speaking of robots, I'm looking at mine right now. I just finished it the night before last. I was bound and determined to get this thing done, and I troubleshot all the glitches in the software. And it's running. It's running great. I'm looking at it. I'm going to take it to school and show my class, my STEM 2 class, because they're going to be building GoBots with cameras and ultrasonic and infrared, grab capture, armature, and whatnot, some peripheral components. And this one's got a Raspberry Pi 4.
I'm kind of really bummed that it uses Java. I hate Java, and I really hate Windows, but so I'm stuck with both of them with this. Somebody has kind of done this with Linux, but not really enough for me to convert yet. So I'm using My Robot Lab, which is really nice. Java makes that really nice. And one more thing, Mike, is somebody here asked, what is a hotspot? I don't know. Somebody could answer that question again, because people ask me all the time, what is a hotspot? You know? So, try it again, my friend. Back to net.
Easy. Well, Chris, VE3RWJ, via Scott and for UPC, relayed that, in brief, a hotspot is a gateway between a digital capable radio and the internet. It's as simple as that. It's different than, like an all-star. It's different than nodes, right? But again, a hotspot is a gateway between a digital capable radio and the internet. Hopefully that answered your question. And you know what? You can always email us. You know how to get in touch with us, Scott or me or Chris or anybody on the team. Just go to our website, AbsoluteTech.org, and we have a contact page. It's a tab on the main nav there. Just click on contact and type away. You will not get spammed, and you'll definitely get an answer from us. So it's a great way to communicate with us. Also our Facebook group and our Discord live chat, which I know you're familiar with as well. So, but sometimes you can get a faster response if you email us directly. You're welcome. You're most welcome. I just got a thank you from you in the AIM window. So I'm going to break with you, Nisi. You take good care, okay? Don't be a stranger. Come on back and tell us all the cool stuff you're up to, okay? Or just shoot me an email sometime. I got to send you an image of my robot that I just finished. You know, it does not have hands and fingers and whatnot, but it's definitely got some cool features. That's for sure. And I like the fact that the programs are it's all written in Python, so pretty nifty. I could go on about that, but I won't, because I want to make time for our other participants. So 73, and I'm going to pass it now to DW2 November Charlie. Whiskey 2 November Charlie. Kevin, you still with us, sir? It's N6RDF. You're in tune with the AbsoluteTechNet. This is Mike, November 6, Romeo Delta Foxtrot. This evening's topic is all things Raspberry Pi, but as you all know, all things tech go out here. So if you're excited about something related to technology, either ham radio or not, bring it on. We definitely want to hear about it, that's for sure. 7 p.m. Eastern, every Tuesday evening is when we meet, and our nets last up to but no more than 2 hours. Information is available, a lot of it actually, on our website at AbsoluteTech.org. By the way, the Chia on Raspberry Pi, on the Chia website, they actually do have some good documentation with regard to which Raspberry Pi to use, which operating systems, etc., and all the specs you need in order to get it running. A lot of these small board computers, they have to be configured in a certain way in order to support certain functions. So, what you can get away with on a Raspberry Pi 4B with 8 gigabytes of RAM, you will not be able to get away with on something like, an Asus Tinkerport first gen. Just FYI, right? So, but anyway, check out my QRZ page, N6RDF. A lot of good, useful information there. I'm easy to get a hold of. You can contact me through AbsoluteTech.org, or you can contact me through my QRZ page if you're a member of QRZ. All right, let's see. M7CUF had no comment. And you know what? There was a station that tried to come in with, and not AI3N. I know you wanted a recheck, but there was another station that wanted a recheck. I did not get your call sign, and I tried to get WNC in here, but I didn't hear him call back. So if you were a station that was trying to get a recheck, come on back now with your call sign and your name, please. N6RDF, standing by.
I think that might have been me, but I'm already on the list. M6GSN Glenn.
Glenn, if you were, I know that you were with us earlier, and if you did the check, let me take you. I do want to get some more check-ins if there's people out there waiting. If there's hams out there waiting in the queue to get in with questions or comments for the net this evening, we've definitely got some time for you. But Glenn, if you wanted to recheck, why don't you take it now, please? The mic is yours, sir.
Yeah, no, one was just a comment about the availability of Raspberry Pis. I'm actually also going to be posting, if you're on NetLogger and you're into the window, I'm just should be posting a YouTube video link where Mr. Upton from Raspberry Pi actually did an interview with a YouTuber regarding the availability of Raspberry Pis. I was going to get one, but I'm going to wait till, I think it's about 4 to 6 months when the stock should be back to normal. There's going to be some price changes, but the stock should be back to normal. The second half of next year, apparently what it was is they were expecting a turn down of volume of purchases, and yes, it's been turned around. Comment I wanted to make. Has anyone done a version of Robbie the Robot from the Forbidden Planet as a Raspberry Pi based robot? Back to net control.
Well, roger that. Thanks for that. I've actually seen that video. It's the Even Upton interview, Raspberry Pi availability, and more. And thank you for posting that link in our AIM window on NetLogger. And I'll probably put this link in my QRZ page too, because I post links like this on my QRZ page for folks who are interested in updates like that. Robbie the Robot. Raspberry Pi, Robbie the Robot. If anybody's familiar with that one, come on in. N6RDF, stand by. I don't hear anybody. Wait a minute.
November. 6, Papa November. Chuck in Santa Barbara, California.
So, okay. I guess, I'll tell you what, Glenn. Best thing to do, obviously, is launch your favorite web browser there and go to your favorite search engine and see if you can find anybody who's been able to get a Robbie the Robot clone with a Raspberry Pi as the brain. That would be pretty cool. I heard some stations trying to get in there. We are going to be taking check in just a moment. So let me break with you, Glenn. Thanks again for popping back in. I've got to make an adjustment here. I'm going to pause for reset here. Please don't try to check in right now. We're just going to have a brief interlude of silence while we let the system reset, and I'll be right back. So pause for reset. Appreciate. Although we're talking about a whole lot of stuff tech related this evening that doesn't have to do with the Raspberry Pi, and that's because that's what we get to do out here, is we get to talk tech. So let's get some more folks on the log with questions and or comments for our net this evening. If you're interested in making comments and or questions for our net, we ask that you call in, giving us your call sign twice, phonetically, followed by your first name. New check-ins now for the net.
It's 6 CPN, November 6th, Charlie Papa November. Chuck in Santa Barbara, California. Coming to you through Raspberry Pi.
Kilo November 6 Sierra Lima Zulu. Kilo November 6 Sierra Lima Zulu. Matthew in California.
You'd like my call again? That's November 6th, Charlie, Papa November.
November 4. Hang on for a second, okay? Here on the AbsoluteTechNet, we take check-ins, groups. We don't acknowledge call signs after we receive them. We recite them back as a list that we receive. We give an opportunity for those who tried to check in, who didn't hear their call sign, give it back, an opportunity to get back in. So I've got Matthew, I've got Chuck, and I think I heard an N4 station in there. That might be Scott. So we're still taking check-ins for the AbsoluteTechNet with comments or questions. Again, call sign twice phonetically, followed by your first name. Do check-ins now, please.
November 4, Uniform Papa Charlie. November 4, Uniform Papa Charlie.
Let's go to Chuck. Hey, Chuck, N6, CPN. Come on in and tell us what's on your mind from N6RDF.
That's November 6th, Charlie, Papa, November. On my mind? You're assuming I have one. Now, I've been sick for the last month, really ill. And so I'm just kind of taking it easy and reading the mail. And thanks a lot.
Well, thanks for putting a smile on my face. I often tell folks that some of my brain cells, they say, hey, Mike, we'll catch you later. We're going on vacation. And guess what? They never came home. So some of my brain cells have evaporated. So I guess that's what happens, you know. But it's all part of life. Great to have you with us, Chuck. I'm glad you're enjoying the program. Stick around for the rest of it. Don't be a stranger. Maybe you'll have some questions and comments in the not-too-distant future. 73, my friend. Hey, Matthew, always good to hear from you, my friend, and good to have you with us. I know something's going on with you, if not one, at least five. So tell us what's going on with you this evening from N6RDF.
Wife got me a new drone for Christmas, which I've been messing with, and but I didn't get any ham radio equipment or gear or tech stuff. What I did get was a Raspberry Pi Pico Ultimate Starter Kit from Amazon, and that's been keeping me kind of busy. I wanted to share with you guys that it's not only helped me with putting components on a breadboard, but it's also introducing me to MicroPython and the different syntax and so forth. So it's interesting, and I'm hoping that that's going to be a catalyst for me to learn programming and be able to do things. Some of the stuff that I've done, they seem very minuscule on the tech side, making a LED light blink with a switch or just with programming. But then there's other things that you're like, how can I apply this to some product I might use in the future? So interesting little thing to look at. They also have one for the Raspberry Pi 4. However, I'm not using that one because I can't get my hands on another Raspberry Pi 4 without shelling out $100 or more. I did notice someone post on the Discord that, oh yeah, there's all kinds of Raspberry Pi 4s on sale for really cheap right now. And I looked and they're $80, $100, $150, $200. I'm like, no, there's not. So the prices will go down eventually, but I'm not going to spend another $100 on a Raspberry Pi 4 until, anyway, I'm not going to spend that much money on a Raspberry Pi 4. I'm going to wait until the prices go down. But the Raspberry Pi Pico, of which I have two, I'm learning how to use that and wire stuff together, so it's kind of an interesting project, and getting you accustomed to putting components together and programming. So I would encourage anyone to look into that, whoever is interested in learning building circuits and components and programming. So I'll send it back to you, Mike, and I hope you had a Merry Christmas, and you have a good evening and good rest of the week. KN6SLZ back to control.
KN6SLZ from N6RDF. Well, Merry Christmas to you and Michelle, that's for sure. And glad to hear that. Glad to hear all the news from you. But let me focus on something that I'm very excited for you about, and that is that you did get the Raspberry Pi Pico experimenter kit. Now, I'm going to pass it back to you in just a moment, and I want to know which one you purchased. But on my QRZ page, if you scroll down a short way there, you will see the Raspberry Pi Pico Advanced Kit with 32 modules and 32 project lessons from the folks at CrowPi. They're on sale now for $36, or about, I think they were on sale for $34. It is the best Raspberry Pi Pico kit on the market, I believe. And trust me, I've done my research. So much so that I purchased these kits for my STEM 2 class. And when they were done experimenting with the Arduino microcontroller, they stepped into the Raspberry Pi Pico RP2040. Now, the 2040 is available on other boards from other manufacturers, but the Pico, I think, is just really, it's just configured so nicely, with its 40-pin GPIO. It's easy to, you can even get them now with the both rails already, the pin is already soldered on, so it's easy to plug into a breadboard and let the good times roll. Now, the Raspberry Pi Pico Advanced Kit from CrowPi, from ElderCrow, comes also with a tiny two-wheel bot, and you can program that 4 different ways. So it's just way too much fun, and as you mentioned, you learn MicroPython. That's what the kids are doing. You can do CircuitPython as well, or C++, but MicroPython is a great derivative of Python proper. And if you haven't tried programming in Python, you might want to go there as well. Got some tremendous resources available on my QRZ page for that, because I am teaching textual Python this year. Pause for reset. But anyway, yes, it's a great way to learn physical computing. Not only programming, but microelectronics. So the sky's the limit with this stuff. But if anybody out there is interested in looking at the Arduino versus Pico, and compare the two, etc., and for all other information about microcontrollers and kits that you can buy, etc., especially the one that I mentioned from ElderCrow, from CrowPi, I urge you to go. There's a link there where it says $36.09 on sale now. If you click on that or any of the images, you can
go directly to their site. They're also available on Amazon. They might upcharge you just a little bit, but they're just, Amazon's just covering for shipping. Let me pass it back to you one more time, Matthew. Very interested in which kit you purchase. Also, all the software comes with this too, and there's full support on the website. So it's an incredible deal, and for the money you pay and what you get. It's just let the good times roll to the 10th power. That's for sure. So back to you. Who's the manufacturer? Was it like Sunfounder, or was it a CrowPie, or Elegoo, or who was it, Matt, from N6RDF?
Oh, Mike, you're putting me on the spot, and you know how terrible I am with names. I can't remember the name of the company that it came from, but they do have a website that you can go to download the lessons, and you follow along on a PDF, and they teach you the different lessons and keep on advancing in the...
all of them are very good. I would say if anybody's out there, you're on Amazon, the one to pull the trigger on would be the kit for the Raspberry Pi Pico from Sunfounder, because they just produce, like you mentioned, Matt, all kinds of great resources and support. But yeah, if you haven't checked out the one from Elecro, I highly recommend it. Hang on. Okay, this is N6RDF. Yeah, CrowPie. I've got the CrowPie L laptop too. You know, the third iteration with a Raspberry Pi 4x8 in there, and that thing is just a bomb. Talk about you can buy things from Elecro attached to the GPIO from the side of the laptop, and again, just let the good times roll. So you might be interested in that as well. So if you want to take a step into the realm of Python programming and the Raspberry Pi GPIO, but you can always shoot me an email and I can send you some links. But on my QRZ page, N6RDF, go ahead and check the CrowPie Raspberry Pi Pico Advanced Kit. It's just great. I mean, you get so much for the money. It's just super cool. So, and the kids are really up their heels in. They're just making such great strides with that. All right, well, enough of putting you on the spot. It sounds like you're having an enjoyable evening. I'll let you get back to it. So give our best to Araceli, and I send our best to you and yours, to you and Michelle, and you guys just take her easy, and have a Happy New Year if I don't talk to you before then. So I'll break with you, Matthew, and 6SL. This is November 6th, Romeo Delta Foxtrot, and yes, you're in tune with the Absolute Tech Network. This evening's topic is all things Raspberry Pi, but we talk about everything here with regard to technology. Hopefully Scott's still with us. November 4, Uniform Papa Charlie. It's your turn, Scott, from N6RDF. Go ahead.
Hey, good evening again, Mike. I'm just going to mention something interesting. We were talking about it earlier on our our back channel chat. Wanted to interact with one of my ham VoIP Raspberry Pis as far as moving files back and forth. And I tried Linux Lite, and that really didn't, they didn't really want to talk to each other real well. So I am trying the Garuda Linux that you mentioned to see if, they can talk back and forth a little bit better. So just want to throw that out there. Garuda looks pretty interesting, so, I'm going to have fun learning about that one. That's all. I'll send it right back over to you, Mike. N6RDF and the net from N4UPC.
Yeah, Roger that, Scott. Excited for you that you're checking out Garuda. A lot of people don't, they shy away from Linux altogether, but when they do, they're more apt to embrace something like Linux Mint or Linux, Ubuntu, right? I like Ubuntu with the Mate desktop. You can load a variety of different desktops, and we could go on and on and on here about in a conversation about desktop environments. And if folks are curious, actually, if you go to our website, AbsoluteTech.org, there's a great little mini drop-down menu there called All Things Linux, and the team has put some very good links there for folks who are interested in Linux. And from all the way from the beginner, I don't know anything, all the way to the advanced user. So we've got some very useful information there for you. And one of the links that we have is Distro Watch. And if you go to Distro Watch, pause for a reason. I'm back. If you go to Distro Watch, that's DISTROWATCH.com, you can find in excess of 600 Linux operating systems, some retired, some not, rolling distributions, etc. But you can see, what the top-ranked Linux distros are for the last 6 months, for example. And at number 10, it's Garuda, and because it's Arch, okay, just like the kernel that's used with the ham VoIP image. A lot of people are shy away from Arch. They think it's too complicated, And it does use a different package management system, so the nomenclature is a bit different when you're in the command line, etc. But there's too many more similarities to other Linux operating systems. And Scott, you had a great program last week. I listened to the podcast, and for those of you who maybe have missed the program or want to listen to a program again of Absolute Tech, go to our website, AbsoluteTech.org, and we've got a podcast tab there. And we've recorded our programs, and we post them up there for your listening enjoyment, sharing and caring and whatnot. But last week, Scott hosted All Things Linux, and that's always a fascinating topic because Linux and small board computers go hand in hand, especially the ARM64 architecture. Pause for reset. So the good news is that for people who would like to get into the realm of Arch Linux, Garuda, that's Garuda, is a absolutely gorgeous environment for noodling in Linux, and you can use it as a daily driver, no doubt about that. But it's really worth a look-see. Left in the net, and I'd like to see if there's a few more stations out there who might like to come in. Actually, I think I've got 2 more on the log, so let me call them in. I've got W9BTM. Mike, W9BTM. It's your turn, so come on in and tell us what's happening with you in technology.
Mike in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. The beginning of the net, so I didn't realize that the topic there was Raspberry Pis tonight, and this is actually my first time checking into this net. I do believe I had a completely unrelated question involving antenna stuff, but I don't think this is the right TechNet for that. So. I guess this will just be a check-in, check-out, and thanks for what you guys do out here. I'm not really too much of a techie person. Me and technology have a weird way of getting along, and most of the time not get along. I do very little stuff with the Raspberry Pis and the All-Star stuff. I've connected it up with some GMRS repeaters and stuff. Using a private server, but I'll be honest, I had a lot of help from other techies that helped me get that going. So I don't really have any other questions, I guess, really related to that topic. So I'll sign 7-3. I hope everybody had a good Christmas, and we'll pass it back over to you there, Mike. N6RDF W9BTM 7-3.
Not so fast, Mike. Come on now. In the beginning of the net, we were talking about antennas. We actually have had programs here where the topics are all about antennas. So on the AbsoluteTechNet, we get to talk tech every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern for 2 hours or less. And all things tech go, either ham radio related or not. So if you've got a topic related to antennas, come on back, bring it on. We want to hear about it. So I'm going to hand the mic back to you, Sir Mike, W9BTM. Questions and or comments about antennas. Go ahead, please.
Michael, I didn't want to tie it up there at the end with this. Like I said, I didn't know if it was the right place or not. And again, I missed the topic there at the beginning, but appreciate you letting me squeeze the question in real quick. It actually really was a pretty simple question. For my mobile install, I've got an FT891, and I spent quite a bit of time installing this here. I've got an 09, so it's second gen F250 duty, and I was using one of those good old-fashioned hatchback animal, or not animal, but SO239, where you got the 4 little set screws, and had that up on the hood. And that thing I put in was very weak, and it actually broke. The mount itself did for the ATAS 120A. And I wanted to know, I guess sort of tech question, but not, is if anybody had any feedback of what would be a good, solid, sturdy, durable mount to use, something that would fit to a Super Duty. I guess that was really my simple and all-inclusive question. Back over to you there, Mike, W9BTM.
Well, yeah, Mike, I mean, that's a great question. And that Yaesu FT891 is a super cool. So without further ado, I know that there's a few people out here who can answer that question for you, but I'd really like to hand it first and foremost to N5AQM, Mike and Chandler. Still there. Mike, you still with us, N5AQM? We got 3 mics here. Take a shot at answering Mike W9BTM's question about what would be a Super Duty mount for an antenna that could reliable, useful for his FT891. Come on in right now. We're going to stand by and see if you're out there. Go ahead.
Not sure about old stock, but on all the Ford Super Duties F-150s that I've ever owned, can't remember the actual name of the company, but you can buy mounts that are specifically like stainless steel mounts that are specifically bent, and they actually mount to one of the fender mounting bolts underneath the front fender, and those are far superior to anything that I've ever used. And I'm driving an F-150 right now with both the right side and the left side mount for two antennas that I run in the vehicle here, one on 700 megs for work and the amateur one that I'm talking on right now. And they're extremely, because they use a frame bolt to mount. Just be aware for anybody who's operating with a newer F-150 that you be aware of the difference in metals. Stainless steel and aluminum don't like each other, so you got to make sure you put some sort of a compound, a dielectric compound in between the two before you bolt them together, or else you'll end up with some interesting noises on RF. Go ahead.
Well, sir, we appreciate you coming back with the information, that's for sure. And I'd like to kind of throw my 2 cents in as well. Mike, there's a really great feature, David Capello, KG5EIU. He's got a Ford F-150, and he did a complete ham radio install. And the bracket, the NMO, that he's installed on the back corner of the bed of the truck looks bulletproof. And I really like the way that he's given all different photographs and the routing for the coax and the wires and just the complete install, including the where he places the speaker, etc. That would definitely be a nice look-see. So if you want to go to his website, it's davidcapello.com. That's DAVIDCAPPELLO.com. And but there's the rest of the URL is beyond the scope of my transmission. But I'm not sure if you're using a NetLogger or not. If you are, I can post it in there. Or if you want to contact me via either my QRZ page or via AbsoluteTech.org in our contact page, I'd be happy to send you this information. But it's definitely worth a look because this fellow has done a superior job. Back to you for any additional comments or questions, W9BTM.
Mike, well, I appreciate you and appreciate the other gentleman there that called, but I think his name was David, the Victor Echo 7 call. Appreciate your feedback there as well. And yeah, I know that with the second gens and third gens, they're completely different mounts because of the way the curvature of the fender is, and some of them would have the curved hoods, so that really just throws an extra wrench into the equation there. Yeah, I just wanted to make a final comment there. If anybody listening maybe just doesn't come on the air, if they have any suggestions on some good mounts or something like that, if they would have any links to it, I am good on QRZ by email, so if anybody
ECHOLINK
wouldn't mind sending any links to something on QRZ or email, I would appreciate that. I've looked around myself and done some research trying to find mounts for this thing, to go off of those bolts, the fender bolts that are underneath the hood on either both, because I think they're both the driver and passenger side for the F-250 second gen, but I haven't found any luck. I found stuff for other, but I haven't found anything for the F-250. So if anybody's got anything, you wouldn't mind sending it my way, I'd appreciate it. And Mike, I appreciate you let me take a little spot here on the net. I'll send it back to you there, sir, 7-3. And again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to everybody. N6 RDF, W9 BTM.
Roger that, Mike. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, etc. Did we have that want to make a comment regarding this? Go ahead.
This is Alpha Bravo 9 Mike Zulu. Again, Alpha Bravo 9 Mike Zulu. I've been listening, but I just figured I'd give you a quick check-in.
Okay, let me get back to you in a sec, okay? Because I'm on a train of thought right now. I'm not taking check-ins, but we're glad to have you here. I'll be right back with you, okay? Mike, W9BTM, Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, Happy New Year. All the best to you and yours. And I've got a few links, actually, I can send you. So you may have seen some of this, but maybe you haven't. So I'd be happy to just forward these to you. I understand that you're good on QRZ, as am I. So I'll go ahead and make this happen within the next 30 minutes, okay? Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the hour here. There's not much time left in the program. I do have one station, VE3 MSS, who's on our log. We're asking you to come in now if you're still with us. The mic is yours from N6RDF.
NCD, want you to comment on the antenna?
All right, Angelo, go ahead with your comment, please.
Hey, good evening, Mike. Yeah, I just wanted to share something that a member of my club and I did. I did it on my van, and he did it on his Ford F-150. We got a hold of a trailer mount and put the mount there. We actually found we got better grounding that way. And we're both running river coils with the 102-inch whips on them. And as you can imagine, they take quite a beating, but the mounts have held up well, and I'm sure getting out. That's all I had on that, Mike. Thanks a lot.
Hey, you're welcome, Angela. Great to hear from you. Thanks for chiming in. You know, now that I think of it, I think Mike was talking about an F-250 Super Duty, not the 150. But anyway, we definitely have some information for you there. We'll send it your way, Mike. Angela, thanks again for being here. I'm still curious about your what you're doing with that Innovato Quadra. So maybe sometime later we can do some catch-up there. VE3, Mike Sierra Sierra, are you with us? It's your turn. Marius from N6RDF. Just trying to get a check-in. Come back. Give us your call sign and your name. The mic is yours.
Might be me, AI3N, with a question of digital stuff.
It's really going to help me if you give me your call sign phonetically, okay? But yes, by all means, come on in with your question.
Oscar Papa Tango, John, Winona, Minnesota. Question.
Okay, we have only a few minutes left. I'll take the person whose call sign I've got. Kilo 2, Oscar Papa Tango. The mic is yours, sir. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening. I'm in a mobile home trailer house. 16 by 80, well, 15 by 76. And I've got a loop going all the way around the house, feeding it with a tuner, and it works pretty good, but I'm trying to get it to work on 160. And I'm wondering if anybody has any experience if I turn around and make two loops, if I go around the house twice, in terms of maybe 6 inches of separation between the two loops, and make two passes around, and then feed it with a tuner, if that might make it work better on 160. K2 OPT in Winona, Minnesota. Winona, Minnesota. Name is John. Over.
John, thanks for the question, K2 OPT. Hopefully somebody heard that question with regard to your antenna situation in your mobile home. So if the station would like to answer that question, please come on in. RDF standing by.
And 6RDF, Alpha Bravo 9, Mike Zulu. Again, Alpha Bravo 9, Mike Zulu, Greg in Tinley Park, 35 miles southwest of Chicago. And I actually can answer that gentleman's question.
AB9MC, we certainly do appreciate your participation. Carry on.
So on 160 meters, your ground becomes very, very important. I've done several 160-meter setups, and the most important thing you can do to help your 160 is to run a ground wire. You can use double odd or triple odd around your trailer. You don't have to bury it deep. A couple, 3 inches is probably sufficient, or whatever is appropriate for however they do the lawn service and such by you. But try to get as many radials as long as you comfortably put in. The length isn't as important on 160 meters, but so you might in your trailer space not have more than maybe a dozen feet or so between trailers, depending. But try to get in at least a dozen or more radials that tie to your antenna's grounding system, and that'll make a huge difference on 160 meters for you. We also have a 160-meter group that meets on 1835 most things at 10:30 in the morning if you're interested. Alpha Bravo 9, Mike Zulu, back to net control. Thanks, Mike.
Very good, Greg. We appreciate your participation. And hopefully, John, you got that information from AB9MZ, who is also good on QRZ, Alpha Bravo 9, Mike Zulu, if you want to contact him. Okay, I've got to run because we're overtime here. And, I've got some people breathing fire down my neck. And just kidding, no. Got to wrap it up here. You know what? I want to thank everybody for being here and all of our participants for what you brought to the AbsoluteTechNet, all the support. This is a great place to give and get with regard to technology, both ham radio related and not. So again, a real 2 thumbs up to everybody out there for your participation this evening. I always have a great time on this net, so I look forward to it every month. So join us again next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, for another edition of the Absolute. And again, we meet here every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern. Check us out online, AbsoluteTech.org. Join us on Facebook and on Discord live chat, or you can contact us from our contact page. We also encourage you to join our weekly newsletter, which is easy to subscribe to. Just visit our homepage, AbsoluteTech.org. Give us your email address, and we'll send you a newsletter every week. We promise you won't get spam. We also want to thank all the support from those who daisy chain us, all of our connections to support this program. And from all of us here at the Absolute Tech team, VE3RWJ, and for UPC, I, Mike, and 6RDF, and KL7FR, 73 to all, and have a Happy New Year. We'll catch you again next week, right here, for another edition of the Absolute TechNet. And 6RDF, clear.